As our chapter title shows, we will learn personalization principle and embodiment principle in this presentation. By the end of the presentation, I hope you can describe personalization principle, describe 3 types of personalization styles in e-learning, describe embodiment principle, and examine the quality for an e-learning lesson using the 2 principles. So, are you ready? First, let me interview you. When you take an online course or when you read any content from any screen, do you like the wording in formal style or conversational style? Which wording is better? Polite wording or direct wording? If there is a video or audio, which sounds better? Human voice or machine voice? Think about it. Here's the answer. People learn better when e-learning environments use a conversational style of writing or speaking, especially when you use the first and second person language. Polite wording for feedback and advice, and a friendly human voice, just like me. This is called the personalization principle. But why do we benefit from this principle? Some experts think formal style is better from the view of information delivery, in which instructor present information and the learners acquire the information. However, other experts disagree. They think information delivery is inconsistent with how human mind works. They stand on the view of cognitive theories of learning and claim that people learn harder to understand the material when they feel they are in a conversation with a partner rather than simply receiving information. So now let's do an experiment and compare which wording style do you like better. First, formal version. This presentation is about what type of wording in e-learning works better for learners. The goal is to learn 2 principles, personalization principle and embodiment principle. Now, let's look at a personalized version. In this presentation, you are about to experience the differences between different wording styles. You will find out the effective use of 2 principles, personalization principle and embodiment principle. Which version do you like better? Some researchers proved that the conversational style will result in improvements in student learning. But will the conversational style work for any learner? What's the catch? When you overdo with a personal style, the instruction will cause distraction. Imagine this. Hey everybody, I'm here to teach you all about personalization. You will find out this is a tremendous fun. Don't worry, it sounds a different concept. But it is not. Hang there, let me help you. How do you feel now? I bet first you are distracted. Second, you might feel the material is undermined, isn't it? Now let's do another experiment. Let's compare which wording is better. First, demand version. Now use a quadratic formula to solve this equation. Versus polite version. How about using the quadratic formula to solve this equation? Let's look at another pair. Demand version. The tutor wants you to calculate the result now versus polite version. Shall we calculate the result now? Which version do you like better? Will the politeness work for everyone? Researchers found out that students who had less experience in working with computers were most sensitive to the politeness tone of the on-screen agent's feedback statements. So they were more offended by direct statements. Wow, interesting, right? Another interesting finding is polite on-screen agents foster deeper learning than direct agents for less experienced learners. Now let's compare another pair. Which sounds better? First, machine voice.
Good evening, everyone.
Second, human voice. Good evening, everyone. So, which sounds better? So the result is people learn better from narration with a human voice than a machine voice. We refer this finding as voice principle. Will the human voice always foster learning? The answer is no. When the on-screen agent is using human voice but not using human-like gestures, then the effect of a human voice is eliminated. Now, it is a perfect time to introduce the use of an on-screen agent. The on-screen agent is called a pedagogical agent. They are on-screen characters who help guide the learning process during an e-learning episode. The personalized speech and human-like gesture are important components in animated pedagogical agents. So, what do they look like? They can be a cartoon character like this, or a talking head like this, or virtual reality avatar like this. And what do they sound like? They can sound like human voice or machine voice, or doesn't sound at all, just expressed with a printed text. According to personalization principle, what we just learned, human voice is better than machine voice in fostering learning. And also according to modality principle, what we learned before, which is words in spoken form is better than printed text when the focus is graphic. Therefore, I come up with this formula regarding the use of the three forms of a voice. Human voice is better than machine voice, and both of them are better than printed text. Before we use pedagogical agent, let's pause a little bit and think. Do agents improve student learning? The answer is yes. Researchers compared two groups of performance. One group without agents, the other group has agent. They found out that the group with agent did better in tests with 24 to 48% more solutions. Now we know pedagogical agents can foster learning. So our next question is, do agents need to look real? Now let's compare which one looks better. Imagine you are taking an online class. The first instruction is provided by your instructor like this, no gestures. The second type, the instruction is provided by your instructor with the human-like gestures like this. She's saying, this chapter we will talk about blah blah blah. So, which one is better for you when the instructor giving you the direction and instruction? Now we know human-like gestures foster learning. So what are the types of human-like gestures? We can add lip moving like this, body movement like this, facial expressions like this, and eye gaze like this. We can add all of these types of human-like gestures to the on-screen agents to foster learning. However, when we use pedagogical agents, we need to be careful. Don't use it as irrelevant role for entertainment value, but only for instructional purpose. In summary, people learn better when the on-screen agent behaves in a human-like way by using human-like gesture, including body movement, facial expression, and eye gaze. This is called embodiment principle. Now, let's recall what we have learned today. First, what is personalization principle? Second, what are the three types of personalization styles in e-learning? Third, what is embodiment principle? Last but not least, can you use these two principles to examine the quality of an e-learning lesson? Although we have found so much interesting findings, but still we have so much to learn and to explore. We need to do more research on when the use of a personalization and embodiment become counterproductive by being distracting or condescending. We need to we need to do research on the conditions under which on-screen agents are most effective and more research on whether specific type of learners benefit more than others from these two principles. And also we need to do more research on whether the gender of agents will make a difference. Last not but least, we want to do more research on long-term effects of the two principles. That's for today's presentation. I hope you learned something from my presentation. Thank you for your time. Bye.